Hey everyone, welcome back to my second mock draft of the offseason, and let's just waste no time and get into it. So first we have the Carolina Panthers, and the Panthers are a team that just traded up to number one, and we definitely know they're going to get a quarterback. It's just which one? That's the question. Now there are a few here that are interesting to me. I think C.J. Stroud and Anthony Richardson are the top guys here for me. We've seen the Panthers take chances on guys like Richardson in the past, kind of like Cam Newton. Obviously, kind of a different situation because he could actually throw the football accurately. But if Richardson develops right, he could honestly do the same and be even better because he's more athletic. Or C.J. Stroud is the most accurate quarterback in this class, unless Frank Reich thinks he can teach accuracy to another quarterback who has higher upside in other traits. But for now, I'm just going to go with Richardson. Next up, we have the Houston Texans, and the Texans are lucky here because we're pretty sure they want Bryce Young, but we're not convinced yet. So we're just going to go ahead and take Bryce Young. They're going to take a quarterback either way. If they don't, I will be shocked. And Bryce Young's kind of the best fit here for what DeMeco Ryans might want, a quarterback who can scramble if needed, but a guy who can throw it deep and be good about it, be accurate. Cardinals, honestly, this is probably the hardest pick of the top 10 because I have no idea what this team could do. They could do anything except quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if they took anything. Maybe not defensive back, but could be anything. I think Jalen Carter will slip a little bit. I'm probably going to end up going with Will Anderson or Tyree Wilson. I think Jonathan Gannon would want a guy who's more solid, I think. Unless he thinks he could develop Tyree Wilson. It's just so early in his first year. I don't know if he'd want to do that yet. I'm just going to go with Will Anderson. And then Colts. This is a quarterback team, for sure. Which one is the question? Is it Levis or Stroud? Let's go with Levis. I think it could be Stroud, but I just feel like maybe Levis is a better fit. Higher upside. I think that's what the Colts want. They want a guy like Andrew Luck back there, but higher upside, They want a Josh Allen. I'm not saying Will Levis is Josh Allen, but he's this year's Josh Allen, I guess. I mean, Richardson's really this year's Josh Allen, but he's kind of what teams are seeing. A little bit Josh Allen in him. Seahawks to finish up the top 5. I may just go with Jalen Carter. I don't think he gets out of the top 5. And we've seen them take chances on defense and players with attitude problems in the past, obviously like Josh Gordon. In the way back, Malik McDowell, obviously that didn't end super well. I think, I'll go with Jalen Carter. Why not? I mean, I don't think he gets out of the top 5. If he does, then Detroit's taking him right here. With that being said, I think Detroit will take Christian Gonzalez, same as last time. I wouldn't be shocked if they took Witherspoon, but Gonzalez had a great combine. Just proved what he could do even further. And good pick. Raiders, okay. I think they'll sign a quarterback. This is being filmed a few days before the start of free agency. I think they will sign a quarterback. So I don't know if I'm convinced that they're going to draft one. So I'm just going to go ahead and take... This is tough. I could see a lot of different things. I might take tackle here. You know what? I think I will. Let's take... Where is he? I'm going to go ahead and take Broderick Jones, I think. Yeah, let's take Broderick Jones. I think he might be the first tackle taken. It's either him or Skoronski. Actually, the top 3 guys are really good. I wouldn't be surprised. Any order. Paris Johnson as well. It just depends who they have as their tackle 1. But that's the team that will probably take a tackle. Unless they don't sign a quarterback. Falcons, easy. Tyree Wilson. This was a popular one for a while. And I almost gave him to Seattle. But I ended up giving them Jalen Carter because of the slip. And now we're on to Chicago, traded down. Genius move. We're good on quarterback. We know that now, for sure. I mean, we kind of figured they gave Justin Fields another year, but we know for now. We know 100% that they're good this year. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're gonna take a tackle as well. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they took a receiver. Actually, I would be surprised. They just traded for DJ Moore. let's go ahead and say I'm going to give them Skoronski, Northwestern. Good fit. He can play in a few different places. I'm sure he could play both right and left tackle if needed. Even if he can't play left tackle, he can for sure play guard. He's actually projected a little bit better at guard, I think, by certain scouts, which is good for the Bears because they need that versatility right now when they are figuring out their O-line because it's all super young still. Oh, Philadelphia. I kind of want to give them Nolan Smith. I've seen this a few times with different people. I know it seems a bit high, and Combine should not dictate where you go, but Eagles would have like a starting Georgia defense. This is pretty good. I can't pass this up. Yeah, I mean, not much being said. We know why it's going 10. Tennessee. If CJ Stroud fell this far and they didn't take them, I don't know what I would say. So I'm just going to go ahead and give them Stroud. If there were trades, I would probably have a trade happen around, honestly, maybe even Chicago, maybe a little bit of a dip. Maybe if Green Bay trades Rodgers. Actually, no, they have Jordan Love. They said they trust him. Yes, it's kind of tough. Maybe Tampa. I'm just going to give him to Tennessee. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill can't last forever. We know that, but he's still pretty good. I mean, besides the injury, he's been fine. Houston Texans. I love this pick. Lucas Van Ness. I think that DeMeco Ryans turn him into a stud if he goes here. And honestly, he could go a little bit higher. I could see him going at like 8 if Tyree Wilson goes a little bit higher than that. Yeah. New York Jets. This could be a Green Bay pick pretty soon here. And I'm just going to anticipate that it's not because no trades. But let's actually go. Yeah, let's go over here. And I think I'll take a tackle for sure, obviously, because you never know if Baxton's going to be healthy. Obviously, he's been looking pretty good. So far, he lost some weight, which is good. But you never want to be... you never can have enough tackles. Obviously, ones in the first round are safer. But especially ones like Paris Johnson. Paris Johnson is some team's #1 tackle in the draft, which is really good for the Jets at 13. And, they've had some experience at O-line. I shouldn't say experience, some younger experience at O-line recently with Elijah Vera Tucker and Becton. Obviously, Becton hasn't worked out completely, but when he's healthy, he's really good. And they're hoping maybe they can get that out of Paris Johnson, who doesn't have an extensive injury history to my knowledge. Then we have New England here. I'm going to go ahead and say the Patriots. Honestly, this could be a trade-up team. I've heard certain people say that they could trade up and get a receiver. I just don't think any receivers will go before this. And I'm really tempted to give them Brian Branch. However, what is quarterback listed as a need on them? I don't know. I'm also tempted to give them Witherspoon. You know what? I think I will. I'm going to give them Witherspoon. Obviously, Devin McCourty retired, safety, but they're going to need an extra corner as well because I'm pretty sure Jonathan Jones is free agent. I don't think they'll bring him back. So Witherspoon's obviously, he's my #1 corner in this draft. I just think Gonzalez is higher upside, which is why I put him with Detroit. And, yeah, let's move on to Green Bay. This could be their second first-round pick in, like, a few picks here. Almost back-to-back. And, it'd be really funny if they took receiver right after Aaron Rodgers left, but I know they won't. That's not how they roll. Christian Gonzalez kind of boosts their ego with that. They know they can take a receiver in the second round and still be pretty safe. But I think what they'll do, I'm really tempted to give them a tight end here, but I know it's way too high. So what I'm going to do is give them... You know what? Should we get a little crazy? I think I might just have to give them Kincaid. Let's give them a tight end. I think let's give them Kincaid. Good player. Most people's #1 tight end in this draft. Not mine, but most people would say he's probably the best or has the highest. I shouldn't say ceiling because that's Washington, but he's a good player. He'll end up being good, especially under Green Bay's system. I have no doubt that he'll do something there. Commanders. I'm going to give them Joey Porter Jr. Obviously, they lost William Jackson, and or not bringing him back, and they could really use a corner back there. Their defense is kind of in shambles besides the defensive line, and even then, like, they just paid Deron Payne. That's going to hurt a little bit later, especially when bringing back Chase Young, who I don't even know if they want to bring back completely, unless it's on a cheap deal. So, let's see here. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers could, that could be a team to trade up a little bit for Joey Porter Jr. I think that would be nice. Obviously, that's probably not going to happen because trading up for a corner is a bit rare, like specifically for a corner. But could be either way. This could be a receiver spot. I think I want to give them JSN, but I like the Pitt connection with Addison. And that's more fun. Well, let's give them Addison. I think Addison could go higher than this, even like at 14. But receivers seem to fall every other draft or so, Like, we'll have guys occasionally, like Jamar Chase, go in the top 5, but it doesn't happen often. So I'm just going to go ahead and put him there. 17. First receiver goes. Number 18, the Detroit Lions, back at it again. And we gave them Gonzalez, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and give them, we covered corner. They don't really need receiver. They got kind of 3 guys they can mess around with, maybe an extra 2 as well later. I'm tempted to give them Brian Branch, but along with, Kirby Joseph. You know what? Let's give them, you can never have too many edge guys. Let's give them Myles Murphy. This guy's been falling lately in people's boards. I used to see him go at like top 10, but now all of a sudden he's falling. I don't know if that's watching the tape or the combine, but he's been falling. Obviously, tape to me doesn't look super impressive, but obviously I think Brian Brzee is higher upside, but his injury history is a bit dicey. Or I guess not injury history, but non-playing history. Obviously, it's some sad family struggles lately in the past few years, but I think teams will give that a pass overall, and it'll still be a first-round pick in my opinion. Speaking of that, Tampa Bay, I think corner offensive line. Let's give them Deonte Banks, no question about it. They might lose both their corners. And having no corners is a pretty bad thing. So let's give them Deonte Banks and hope that they'll be all right. Seahawks, again, I want to give them receiver. I know they have Eskridge as their 3rd guy. But I really think if you gave them JSN, it's tempting to give them. I think interior D-line is a bigger issue, though, and we saw that in the 49ers game. Obviously, they did not win that game. First half, second half collapse. I want to give them Kancey. Let's give them Kancey. Seems a bit high, but it's so much of a need that it's worth taking over luxury like JSN. And here we go with the Chargers. Let's give them Quentin Johnson. I think they would take Addison here in the heartbeat if he was here. Quentin Johnson's used to be the number 1 guy. I don't know. I've seen him dropping lately. I don't know if that's just his performance in the national championship, literally not being thrown to at all. Maybe once. Baltimore. I think they should take receiver. Will they? I don't know. Let's give them JSN. If they don't take receiver, Lamar is going to hate them. I mean, Lamar might be traded before the draft. Who knows? But I think they'll work out something with him. And giving him receiver will kind of sweeten the deal. All right, 23, Minnesota. This is going a number of directions. Obviously, they don't have Thielen anymore, so receiver could be nice. Zay Flowers. Honestly, a running back wouldn't even be crazy. Bijan Robinson. Going back to the Chargers, they could take Bijan Robinson. I mean, I just don't know where he goes. He could go anywhere from 10, even though it seems a bit crazy. It could happen to the end of the draft. Honestly, I mean, it could happen. I think the Vikings will end up going for linebacker or D-line, though. Obviously, no Zadarius Smith. I think he was released or requested a trade. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give them Let's give them Brzee. Never have too many edge rushers. Obviously, Brzee a great player. They could really turn him into something, especially with Donatel out. You have a more solid guy in Flores there. And yeah, let's move on to Jacksonville. Good luck, Vikings. Jacksonville, honestly, they could take anything. This is one of the harder picks in the draft as well. His whole first round's pretty tough outside a few guys. I could see tackle here. I would rather give them Dawand Jones than Anton Harrison, though, which is what I might do. I don't think they'll take receiver or running back, obviously. You know what? Tight end. Tight end might be the spot. I know they franchise tagged Evan Engram, but I don't think they'll give him a long-term deal. And a guy who can actually block, like Michael Merrick, could come in handy with the 2 tight end set or something, which is what I'm going to end up doing. Michael Merrick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Love the fit. Here come the New York Giants. I'm going to have to give them Zay Flowers, I think. I think I'll have to. I'm trying to figure out a way to get out of this. I just don't know if they would take corner first. Because I think the Giants could take corner first. You know what? I think Zay Flowers could go super early as well. Like, in the teens. But, you know what? Let's give them Tyreek Stevenson. This guy's been receiving a lot of hype lately. And he could be a really good player for the Giants. Obviously, great defense. I shouldn't say great, but really solid for a first year. I mean, this was like the same roster with last year, and they sucked. But obviously, they need help, especially at corner. I mean, they don't have a lot of help there at all anyways, so this should help them a lot. Cowboys. I think it has to be Zay Flowers. I wouldn't put it past Jerry to take a running back here. But let's take Zay Flowers. And with that being said, I think these 2 picks, 26-27, of Zay Flowers and Bijan Robinson are both there. It's just crisscross, back and forth. Whichever one's left over will go to 27 at the Bills. And that is the case here with Bijan Robinson. The Bills are having kind of missing a running back for a while. They have James Cook, but you never know if you want to have him be the starter or not full time, obviously. You're going to have to pay Singletary, but having Bijan Robinson in the passing game will be especially helpful to Josh Allen, who's been struggling a bit in those later playoff games, especially this year. Maybe that's the offensive line, which would have helped a lot taking like a Dawand Jones, but I think they would opt for Bijan Robinson, a top 10 player, talent-wise, but obviously running backs aren't valued that high. So Cincinnati, I will not hesitate to give them Dawand Jones from Ohio State. It could be Anton Harrison too. But Dawand Jones in the state, one of the top tackles in the class. I think he'd go a little bit higher than this, but he's kind of an end of the first round guy. No question about it, Bengals need help on the O-line. We've seen this year in, year out. Even when they try to fix it in free agency, it ends up falling apart anyways, and it's just the same every year. Hopefully a younger guy can stay healthier and patch up a hole. Saints. This is a hard one. I think Will McDonald's a pretty good pick here. I think Mozzie Smith is a solid pick. B.J. Ojulari. I'm going to go ahead and give them... You know what? Let's give them Will McDonald. Solid edge guy. I think... I don't know. They don't especially need edge, but it doesn't hurt to have so many edge guys. And he's a higher touted guy. A lot of teams are higher on him than I am, and a lot of scouts are. So, I'm not a professional scout, and I'm just going to pay attention to what those guys think. And I think this is a pretty good fit for them. Philadelphia. This is, honestly, Philly's kind of a best player available type of team, and I'm just going to go ahead and give them O'Cyrus Torrence. He is the best player available right now, in my opinion. Maybe Brian Branch and Josh Downs, but O'Cyrus Torrence, Senior Bowl guy, showed his, raw power. It was insane. Would not surprise me to see him go as high as the late teens here. Maybe at 17. But yeah, now we're on to the last pick in this mock draft, and that'll be Kansas City. I think that Kansas City's a team that will honestly just take best player available like they usually do, We saw that last year with Karlaftis. We saw it the year before with that actually wasn't best player available. I thought they should have taken Jonathan Taylor. Saw it with Clyde Edwards-Helaire though. I'm tempted. If they don't pay Juan Thornhill, Brian Branch is the move. If they do, I think Anton Harrison's the move. However, I think taking number 1 receiver for them is a shot they should definitely take. That being said, I'm going to give them Josh Downs. That'll do it for this draft. Thank you for joining me on the second episode. I'll be back later this week at the free agency week 1 recap. And yeah, see you guys next time.